Hello and welcome back to the WhiskAYE Podcast after a hiatus immediately after saying we were going to get our schedule sorted out. It's kind of our thing.
Yep.
Today we're back with the January box from Dram Team. We're whiskaye, but
it's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. As usual, the Dram Team box who got their scheduling back on track, but we didn't follow suit. The January box for podcast number 12 is labelled A Regional Romp, and the title card says, in this box we set out on a joyously tasty romp around Scotland's whisky regions, taking in 6 single malt scotches from 6 famous distilleries. So happy travels, and as they say in Scotland, Slainté. So, yeah, I suppose.
A regional romp. We've been to some of these regions. Lowland, technically Highland. Have we done a Highland? Does Glenlivet count as a Highland or a Speyside?
Well, Speyside is Highland, but
yeah, but
I say Glenlivet is a Speyside in my opinion. But...
All right, so we've done only Lowland and Speyside then. So I'm just miffed because I like Speysides a lot, but I also really like Campbelltowns. But the one Campbelltown one we've got is peated.
Well, it'll be salty and peated, so we can both complain.
I think they do it on purpose to us, you know.
Yeah. Told twist. Mash in with our first whiskey?
I can happily mash in. Did you say mash or smash?
Mash.
Mash. All right, yeah, I can
play on words.
Oh, it's a pun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a mash pun.
Whee.
Right. So the first one is the distillery we've been to. In fact, it's a distillery we went to that kicked Ola's obsession off and brought this high-level entertainment to you, good listeners.
Also, just because I didn't know of anything else interesting near where I live.
No, I mean it was a good call.
Yeah.
It's cost me a lot of money.
Yeah. You're welcome.
But I'm stocked for Corona with 37 whiskies. Some of them are strong enough that it kills it.
Yeah.
So if I can just keep that in my throat, maybe that'll stop it.
I've heard it recommended that you gargle with whiskey to kill it.
I think once it's in your throat, you're beggared, basically, to be honest, because it gets into the cells because it's a virus.
Probably.
So at that point, you're just infected. Anyway.
Excuses to drink whiskey.
Yeah. Well, it's good for you anyway. So rather than following the trend of every other social media personality and giving poorly thought out Corona advice, we'll just get on with poorly thought out whiskey advice. Yeah. So the first one, Auchentoshan, 12 years old. Auchentoshan stands out amongst Scotch single malts for having an unusual triple distillation process, creating a light, smooth spirit character. It is pronounced Auchentoshan and means corner of the field in Gaelic, rather ironic given that Auchentoshan is known as the city's single malt for its near Glasgow location. Maybe not for much longer with Clydeside.
I feel like it'll take a while.
Yeah, but it's in the city. Anyway.
Glasgow area.
So, for your on the nose, you've got creme brulee with a burst of citrus, then the signature nuttiness and green leafiness you would expect from Auchentoshan. On the palate, you've got a smooth whiskey taste. Oh, it's like our kind of reviews. Tastes like whiskey. With sweet notes, along with hints of tangerine and lime. So you'll taste pear, I imagine.
Or banana.
Have you got banana in your palate now, have you?
Yeah, I've been eating a lot of banana.
Is that because it's the only thing left in the shops?
No, just because you can buy them before they're ripe. So they'll last longer.
Yeah, fair. But when bananas start going off, they make other fruit around them go off.
Yeah, but I don't store my fruit altogether.
They put out legitimately. They put out a chemical that makes other fruit rot.
Like, screw you guys! You should have eaten me first.
Yeah, it's just like that one friend who takes you all with you.
Don't oranges do that as well?
I don't know. I just thought it was bananas, but it might not be. Anyway, and the finish is a gingery and slightly dry finish with a pleasant, lingering nuttiness. So, nuttiness, tangerine and lime. So a bit of citrus on the nose and the palate. Bit of nuts
and lettuce on the nose.
Green leafiness.
Yeah,
it's not just lettuce, but yeah, okay.
I was joking.
So let's have a look. Yeah, it's just weed.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So on the nose, I don't know if I get citrus. I get nuttiness. And like that kind of melted sugar, caramelized sugar that I'm guessing they mean with creme brulee.
There's some kind of tartness to it, which I'm assuming is probably what the citrus they're saying is.
You had a swig, have you?
No, I'm saying it to the nose.
All right, go on then. I'll fill the time while you have a swig.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Auchentoshan are usually pretty good. We're quite a big fan. Time filling done. Great. All right, you fill time while I have a swig then.
I've just had a taste, and would you believe it tastes like whiskey, as the card told us.
There's a kind of nuttiness in the back, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure about tangerine and lime, to be fair. But...
No, I don't get any citrus, but I get like an oakiness, like a woodiness.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know if that's the nuttiness. Maybe that's what I'm describing.
It is a little bit gingery on the end as well. I can agree with that.
Yeah, a little bit, like a mild spice.
Yeah.
Would we say it's a dry finish?
It's quite dry, but not that dry. Like probably just out of touch, out of practice. Palates.
Yeah, it's quite
dry afterwards.
Quite dry, but it's not like a tannins kind of dry.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. I'm just going to pour a little bit out because I haven't quite had half my bottle, and I've got so many of these half-full bottles stacking up now.
Useful for gargling if they're.
Yeah. I'd rather have Corona than drink peated whiskey. Yeah, it's quite nice. I think that's a middle of the road one, personally.
Yeah, it was just that was a. I wouldn't say no to it.
I'd say whiskey flavours, unironic this time.
Yeah.
With slight nuttiness. Would we say dry finish?
Sort of spicy, dry finish.
Spicy, dry finish. Mild, spicy, dry. It's not.
Yeah, it's mild on both of those, so that's why I was giving it a.
Yeah. All right, what would your score be then?
It's been so long, can't remember what the benchmark is. I would say
2.5 is the middle, isn't it?
I'd say 3 probably for that.
I'd say 3 for that. Yeah, I don't feel like 2.5 is a fair reflection. All right, first one in under 10 minutes.
Wow, that is actually quite a while, because that means we're on track for our traditional hour and a half long podcast that was meant to be 45 minutes.
All right, let's smash into the next one then. Mash into the next one.
Mashed.
Mash.
Absolutely mashed.
You're on.
Okay.
Knock it out the park.
We have Bal Blair, aged 12 years, up next. Bal Blair produces a richly fruity new make spirit character, typical of the traditional Highland style, and tradition runs deep at Bal Blair, who've been distilling since 1790, so that's some heritage there.
It's pretty old.
But, in this expression, the Bal Blair spirit character is combined with a minimum 12-year maturation in ex-bourbon and double-fired American oak casks, producing a dram with elegant complexity. My head wanted to say complexability, and I had to hold it.
Complexability is a way better way of calling it complexity.
Yeah, complexity and warmth. So, on the nose, it should be elegant, bright lemon peel layered with creamy vanilla and crisp green apples. So
pears and vanilla.
Yeah. Then on the palate, it says ground spices and dried orange slices enveloped in intense set honey sweetness. Set honey, just like cloudy honey.
I don't know. I don't like honey, so I don't know the terms.
Oh, yeah, which is strange. The finish should be creamy and leathery with notes of sweet vanilla.
Okay, so elegant, bright lemon peel.
Best kind.
I only have elegant lemons. Did you know they say that if you've got an anxiety, yeah, obviously the smartest. Did you know that if you're having an anxiety attack, they say one of the ways to cure it is to bite into a lemon?
Because your brain,
because it
can only concentrate on the horrific feelings.
Yeah, that sudden sourness, shocks you out of it. But can you imagine someone being in the middle of an anxiety attack and then just pulling out a lemon and taking a big bite out of it? That'd get them sectioned quicker.
Yeah, especially if they just stared at you whilst they did it.
Yeah, perfect eye contact the whole time.
Yeah. Just all
right,
start breathing deep. Yeah. And then whip out the lemon. Don't even peel it.
big bite, and then just walk away calmed.
Yeah.
All right, I do get, apple maybe. There's a sweetness. I'm not sure vanilla, but apple. Don't really get that.
Are you talking about?
Yeah. How quick do you think I can drink it?
Pretty quick.
Yeah,
I've seen you
I
at
can.
the Bristol Whiskey Underground.
You were keeping pace.
Yeah. It's
All
got
right.
quite a slightly like burnt, but not in a bad way. Like like caramelized-ish kind of scent to it.
There's definitely the spices are there, like a kind of warm undertones. Dried orange slices, so like I guess maybe I don't know. What do you get from a taste?
It's definitely spicy.
Yeah,
Very,
like
very
warm spicy.
Very smooth, the creamy and leatheriness. I definitely get that. It feels like it coats the mouth, even if you're only maybe necessarily tasting it, not everywhere.
Yeah, we're not taking gulps here, just so people know.
I mean, you might not. Nah, I'm kidding.
Oh, you were the one who started off with just half bottles. I was drinking the whole things every time.
Yeah.
So creamy with mild spiciness throughout. Pear on the nose. The
vanilla is like a strong. You know what it's like? You know when you get like a really, really upmarket vanilla ice cream?
Yeah.
And then it's slightly melted before you eat it. It feels like drinking that, but not cold.
Vanilla permeates throughout. What would you give that?
I really enjoyed that. I give it probably a 4.
Maybe a
4.5. 4. We'll stick with 4 just now.
Yeah, I'd go for a 4. That was really nice. That was very nice.
Maybe we should do a trip to the Highlands.
Because the Highlands ones are so spread out, you see.
Yeah, but there's no police up there, so I'll just drive.
All right.
That's a joke.
Well, there's anyone up there.
There's clearly enough people to...
And have you noticed that on the essential businesses list, alcohol shops in breweries and such are on that list?
Are they?
Yep.
Very good.
So we could still go. I mean, it'd be completely irresponsible. Please don't do this. Yeah. We're not actually going to do it. I'd have to get to Scotland, and that'd be difficult, and also grossly irresponsible.
You just walk. I feel like it's going to take more than 3 weeks, this shutdown, but whatever.
Yeah, I feel it's going to be a while. Although good news out of Wuhan, it seems like they've actually got on top of it because they've started relaxing the things and they're not getting any new cases.
Or behind the Iron Curtain, they're dealing with it.
Well, maybe, yeah. But, take what little good news we can get.
But yeah, I think like the quarantining system has worked there, so...
It's interesting to see, like, some people are up in arms about Boris Johnson didn't isolate quick enough, or people are up in arms about Boris Johnson isolating everybody. It's like...
It's also interesting if you look at the people who are annoyed that Boris Johnson isolated everybody. It's the people who... It's basically people who don't care about old people in general. Like, most people are like, okay, it's probably a good idea, being that we're 3 weeks behind the rest of the developed world on this, that we maybe take some actions, and we were given the chance to be sensible, and the people who weren't sensible are the ones who are up in arms about it.
Yeah, they spoil it for the rest of us.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the same old story every time. And it's always the same, because they kick off about being isolated, but if it was one of their relatives who got it and died, they kick off about not isolating.
Of course. But that's what I mean.
As long as it's strangers, they don't care. Anyway.
I mean, there's a leftist argument to say that this is kind of fascist, but generally, most people wouldn't make that argument because it's not really.
I think it is if it's done for a good reason, and if it doesn't get relaxed. And there's always that risk that, once the people has accepted the government imposing this, it's easier for a government to continue it. But I think it'd be difficult for anyone to put it at Boris Johnson's feet that he did this, like, enthusiastically. He was clearly very, very reluctant to impose this. That's why we're 3 weeks behind everyone else.
Yeah.
He clearly didn't want to do it. And whether that's because he's got mates in business and he didn't want to lose money, whether it's because it's a vote loser. I'm not saying it's out of pure altruism, but he's clearly not interested in being leader of a lockdown country.
No. Sounds like a lot of hard work, that's why.
Yeah, and no one makes any money. And all his mates are in business.
Yeah.
So, what's he got to gain from it? Anyway, next one. Glen Murray. You'll have to forgive my pronunciation because I have no idea how you pronounce this, but I'm going to go Room WhiskAYE. Cask finish project. This limited edition Speyside single malt is finished in casks previously used to mature AOC Room from St. James Distillery in Martinique. In the tasty words of master distiller Graham Cool, that's a good name, you get toffee and burnt sugar notes from the rum, very much a heavier, sweeter flavour, which goes well with the fruity character of the Scotch. So on the nose, you've got marzipan, apricot jam, there you go, pear drops, and pineapple cubes. The palate is full-bodied and satisfying. Treacle toffee merges with Kirsch cherries and spicy gingerbread. And the finish, smooth and long. The spice intensifies and fades, leaving a room and raisin finish. So what do we get? What do we get on the nose? Do we get marzipan?
I haven't sniffed it yet.
Yeah, I get marzipan, to be fair. I say that every time, to be fair.
Yeah, I think you might just have a marzipan nose.
No, I don't say marzipan every time. I say to be fair every time.
Well, to be fair, to be honest. That's what the cool kids say these days.
I am a cool.
TBH.
I am cool. I don't know if I'm a kid. I am cool.
I'm sure to some person you're a kid.
I'm relatively young for my profession.
I feel like all professions, the median age is like.
But civil servant, median age is like 70.
Yeah, true. I would place myself in engineering, but there's still a high median age, so.
Yeah. Yeah, marzipan. Do I get anything? Maybe pear drops. I get what they're getting at, like the sweets kind of thing. That kind of, not sickly sweetness, but you know what I mean? That kind of.
Like an old school sweet shop.
Yes. Yeah.
Like boiled sweets.
Like you might get in a good ASMR video.
Possibly.
Mm.
That seems like the kind of roleplay I wouldn't be about.
Yeah, no, me neither. Don't like sweets. All right, go on then.
Shops.
Have your taste and let us know what you feel. Are you getting the full-bodied? Are you being satisfied? Is it treacle toffee? Do you get Kirsch cherries? Because now you shop at Waitrose, you should know what they are.
No, I don't know what they are.
You see, he's been shopped out to his Scottish friends now.
I was forced. They're closing anyway.
Yeah.
I had to queue up outside.
Really? They were doing a one-in, one-out thing?
Yeah. To be fair, that wasn't because I'm not middle class enough. That was
yeah. Well, they checked your credentials.
Yeah.
They had to call you back.
Yeah, I did have to go. I did go in joggers because I was planning on doing my daily exercise in the same thing. But then after the, trauma of being subjected to all that expense for meat, the reason I had to go was because everyone bought all the meat from the cheap shops, and the butcher was shut, which is kind of understandable, to be honest. But
I jogged to Co-op today, and they haven't got a one-in, one-out. Although they might if it got really busy, I suppose. But they do have like markings down on the floor for you to queue, and when you go to pay, like to press your card against the thing, they back off.
Yeah.
So you start to feel really intimidating. Because like you walk forwards and they're like, whoa, and it's
start flexing and that.
Yeah, probably so. And they're like, fuck off, mate. Oh, I swore.
That's fine. We'll just get demonetized.
Yeah, damn. That's not.
No, we'll lose so much money.
I said, hook off.
Yeah, that's what you said. I heard it.
Yeah. Screw you, Todd.
Yeah.
Right. Did you get any of that stuff from the palate? Back to the whiskey.
I've got treacle toffee, I would say.
Mm.
It's very, very, very smooth. And yeah, smooth and long is a good way to describe the finish on that.
I get the heaviness.
Yeah.
It's like a sherried one almost, like that kind of strong, like creaminess, like it's a thicker liquid, even though it's not. Do you get what I mean?
Rum ones are normally like very sweet. And I'm not
usually quite fruity.
It's more in the realms of toffee.
It's like a sherried one. It tastes like a sherried one.
It doesn't have. I don't even get the sort of like dried fruits on it.
No. But it's got that kind of mouthfeel.
Mm-hmm.
Wide mouthfeel, definitely. So I was going to say, well, we'll steal full-bodied because I think that's an apt descriptor. Full-bodied and long. almost
like
sherry like
bubbly.
But no dry fruit. Treacly / creamy. And yeah. Satisfying. I would say that's a good word for it. Right, I'm just going to have my last thing. What would you score it?
Give that one probably a 4 as well.
Yeah, I'm going for a 4 on that. That's nice.
Getting the feeling that we've just been out of the whiskey game for too long and all whiskey tastes great.
Yeah, maybe. Sometimes I wonder what it'd take. I worry that we'd never give anything a 5.
There are 5s.
Yeah, but I think from when we were in the swing of things, like now, we might be like, no, I'm probably just liking this because I haven't tasted one in a while.
Yeah. Or a new one.
Yeah, exactly. So then you're just like, maybe we're pegging them low, but then maybe we're pegging them high, like you say. All right, we're cracking on. We're at 21 minutes, 3 down.
We've got a lot to do, so there might be a couple of shorter podcasts during this time. First of all, because we spend a lot of time talking to each other over microphones.
I was saying to my boss today that on Skype, because obviously we're all isolating, that I think I'm being more social now than I ever have been.
Yeah.
Because all the people I normally talk to are normally quite busy social people. I mean, I'm an introvert, I stay in. But most people like Martha, or even yourself, because you go back to your parents on the weekends, normally I don't talk to you on the weekends, and I don't talk to Martha that much because he's usually out doing stuff. But because everything's stopped,
yeah,
I'm suddenly talking. These extroverts are lost. Yeah, these extroverts are lost, and they're like, Josh will be around because he's boring. He never does out.
Everything's coming up, Josh.
Yeah. All right, do you want to crack into the next one then?
Yep, I just cracked it open, so
cracking a warm one with the boys.
Yeah. A warm one. It's not that warm, room temp. But
yeah, okay.
Okay, so next up we've got one from the Isle of Jura. Jura 7.
We've done a lot. Auchentoshan is Lowland, Balblair is Highland, Glen Murray is Speyside, so we're on to islands.
Yep.
Sorry.
And so Jura is an island. It's not on the island that most people think of, but
the island,
you can see Jura from there, I believe, or you can at least see the Isle of Jura
from the north. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So this is a 7 wood. It says here, this expression from the very popular island distillery of Jura draws whiskey from an incredible 7 types of oak cask, and it lists them: first fill, ex-bourbon American white oak, limousine. I'm going to struggle. These are French.
Limousin, Tronqué, Allier, Vosges, Goupil, et Les Béchanges.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
A veritable all-you-can oak buffet. As blender Greg Glass puts it, the aim was to accentuate the DNA of Jura's light character. The oak types should not dominate, but enhance the natural qualities of Jura while imparting flavour. So we've got nose and palate notes on this one. So nose is an aromatic fusion of coffee, ginger, spice, and a hint of milk chocolate. And the palate is caramelized peach, chewy licorice, and candied orange with a hint of sea spray and smoke, which is very interesting that those counter each other quite a lot. To go from coffee, ginger, and chocolate to peach, licorice, and orange.
Yeah. This might be a bit of a juxtaposition.
Yeah.
There's definitely coffee on the nose.
I definitely didn't just do the face.
Why would you do? What? Because I said juxtaposition.
Yeah.
Right. I know words.
Bringing out the vocabulary. But yeah. It does have it definitely has a gingery smell.
Yeah, I get coffee.
Maybe
Ginger, yeah. Yeah. Go on, I'll go in for a taste. Fill the space.
Usually, though, with whiskey, if it says it's got, a coffee and chocolate flavour, it'll be creamy, in all sorts in the second half, whereas this seems to go from that to a very bright, I would imagine is what a way to describe the peach, licorice, and orange sort of flavours. But I'm going to go in for my taste now. It's your turn.
It does have kind of a sweetness to it. I do get like a little bit of dried fruit, so maybe the candied orange there. A little bit of sea spray. I don't get any smoke.
I get a very light smoke. But
No.
like peated, like smoke.
It starts off sweet, and it kind of blossoms as you taste it.
So when it moves to that salty savouriness, that's when I'm getting the smoke, like right at the back of the palate.
I'm not getting any smoke, I must admit. So I'm saying it starts sweet, then blooms into saltiness, and I'll put with very light smoke.
Goes well for me.
I think that's quite nice, that, to be honest.
I'm definitely willing to put it in the 4.5 range.
Yeah.
I always like Jura whiskies.
Yeah, they've always been good. I'm going to go with a 4 on that.
I'm gonna push the boat out.
You're going to go
4.5 on it.
4.5. Wow. Okay. Well, we're going to do an about face now from all these high scoring ones to what's next.
To the best one.
No. So, as I've probably said before, I like Speyside whiskies. I like Highland whiskies. I like some Island whiskies. Lowland is not many to choose from, but I like Auchentoshan. But Campbelltown has been like kind of my growing favourite because I quite like that saltiness that you get.
Yeah.
From like a Glen Scotia. I love a Glen Scotia. Unfortunately, the Campbelltown entry we've got this time is Longrow peated. I think Longrow only does peated, doesn't it? Isn't that the Glen Scotia, Longrow, and no, that's different.
You're the Campbelltown guy, yeah.
Anyway, yes. So Longrow peated, first distilled in 1973. Longrow is the result of a very successful experiment to prove that an Islay-style single malt could be produced on the mainland. Of the 3 styles of whiskey produced at the iconic Campbelltown distillery of Springbank, so I was right. It's Springbank, Glen Scotia, and Longrow. It is the most peaty, and the only one to use a standard double distillation regime. Nose is very creamy, vanilla custard. The smoke develops, and toasted marshmallows, herbs, and rich fruits appear over time. The palate is incredibly well balanced. This is going to be a lie because it's just going to be peat. Every peated one says, "Oh, it's well balanced. It's well balanced," and all you taste is smoke. Anyway, incredibly well balanced, rich and creamy with a slight medicinal hint. The smoke is always present and washes over the palate in waves, like nausea. Finish. The gentle smoke lingers and lingers. Oh, I'm going to love this, aren't I?
Yeah. I'll have you know, before you go in for your smell, see where it says the smoke develops?
Yeah.
It develops like a very aggressive tumour.
Right, okay.
Because it's pretty instant.
Yeah, it's straight away smoke. That's not the smokiest one I've smelled, but it is. There is no developing time there. That's just smoke. I am trying. I do complain a lot about peated, but I do try with each taste to actually get something out of them. I don't just. It sounds like I write them off from the start, but But I just get smoke.
That was actually quite good.
What, taste-wise?
Mm-hmm. It is very smoky.
Fill some time.
But yeah, definitely rich and creamy. A lot of these have been this has been a very heavy.
I wouldn't say that's too smoky. It's smoky on the back end a little bit, but it's not too bad.
It's like how it's like when you've been at a barbecue all day and just everything is kind of.
Yeah, it starts off quite rich.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It is rich and creamy. And then, to be fair, it sort of smashes into the smoke quite.
Yeah, it's quite abrupt.
Hard, and then the smoke lingers, but it dies off, and you get more of the flavors coming back through. I would say.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the smoke lingers and lingers.
Like I would say that the smoke is always present and washes over the palate quite heavily in the middle, but towards the end it dies off and leaves.
Yeah.
Still a smoky flavor, but not as aggressive and medicinal as some places.
It's not the smokiest one we've had by a long way.
It's quite nice.
Okay, so I've put my comments. What would you give that?
Yeah, that 3.5, I think.
3.5.
Yeah.
I would give it a 2.5. Yeah, 2.5, which is not bad for a peaty one for me. If it was a little bit less, it's probably the best peaty one I've tried.
You should drink like 3 bottles of that from what I hear, and then move on to like stronger and stronger ones. That's what people say.
Well, that's apparently, a strong peated one. It said, didn't it?
Maybe it was just cracked your palate.
I hope not. Well, they did say that one of the symptoms of corona is losing your sense of taste, so maybe I've got corona.
Wouldn't surprise me. You live in England. Everyone's
We're all infected down here. Yeah.
Too many people in one place.
Not in my flat.
True.
Currently, there's the right number of people in my flat.
But the weeks that you spent not in your flat was more what I was meaning.
What, going to work?
Yes.
Oh, there's always, it's like a cesspool, that place. There's always going to be some old sod who comes in, coughing and spluttering back, but I need to get to this meeting. And it'd be like, no, you don't. And you've just killed everyone.
Some other old sod.
Yeah.
Or vulnerable person, we should call them. Because we're politically correct.
We are politically correct. Old bastards. Right. Do you want to do the last one then?
I'll go for it, yeah.
Special dram for
The
a special person.
Dram, which is always good until it's Glen Keith.
Still got that bottle.
Yeah. Well, you'll have it for a while, I reckon.
Yeah,
That's
I
gonna
opened
be like...
it so people could smell it, and now I regret it because I should have just put it
in the bin.
Yeah, in the bin. No, I was thinking I should put it like in case of emergency drink, and it could have been like my suicide pill.
Yeah. Caution. Yeah. Okay. Let's
Fire
hope
away.
it's not another one of them.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
So here we have the Bullmore, aged 19 years, French oak barrique. I'm guessing.
Yep.
This rather old and special Isle of whiskey from the even older and equally special Bullmore distillery, founded in 1779 no less, and unusual in still operating their own floor maltings for drying malted barley. This whiskey has spent 19 years maturing in first fill ex-Chateau Lagrange French oak barriques, which I'm guessing is a type of barrel.
Yeah, or a boat.
They just pour it in.
Yeah.
And in a rather modern move, it's available exclusively via Amazon, which means even on shutdown at this moment, you can still get it.
I can't get it for a month.
Hasn't closed. Well, you can, but
Amazon Prime won't deliver to me for a month. Everyone else can get deliveries. Martha can get deliveries. You can.
Yeah, well, remember when I said too many people in England?
Martha lives across the water.
Yeah, but she lives in Wales, so there's less people.
Right.
On the nose, candied apple, honey, and light peat smoke. On the palate, rich toffee, wild honey, and exotic spices.
Is that different to normal honey?
Probably.
Right.
Comes out of a beehive or something, I don't know. And the finish is summer fruits balanced with warm peat smoke. So
See, I'd say this smells peatier than the last one.
I would imagine that this one, which comes from Isla, is probably pretty peated.
Oh.
Did you do the face?
Yeah, I did the face.
Yeah.
No, not necessarily.
No, there is. Yeah.
What's the one?
Brookladdick.
Yeah, Brookladdick. Yeah, they don't always do. No, it's not. Is it Brookladdick?
I don't know.
It's one of them that's got like a really complicated Gaelic name. Might be Brookladdick. Anyway, there's one of the Isla ones doesn't do peated. Anyway, there is a sweetness before the smoke hits you.
I'll have to open mine up.
Okay, so I'm going to put sweetness and smoke on the nose. Let's try palate. Yeah, okay, so until you swallow, you don't get the smoke. So there is definitely like a toffiness to it and a little bit of spice, not a lot.
Like Gaviscon.
What?
Gaviscon tastes smoky. Just done
All right, yeah. So it's like Gaviscon, and it doesn't taste like smoke until you swallow it. But you definitely get the toffee, and the smoke's a different kind of smoke. It's not a medicinal smoke. This is more like a woody smoke. Like a deeper,
nice.
like rather than a sweet smoke that you normally get from peat. This is a different kind of smoke. It is quite nice.
Definitely get on the nose. I get the smoke, but with like a maybe it's honey.
Yeah, toffee / honey flavors. Then smoke develops on the swallow. I'm gonna put wood smoke because it's not like I wouldn't call that one a medicinal one.
No.
Which is normally what peat is, and that's normally what puts me off. That wood smoke's not too bad.
It's very nice.
I wouldn't say it was very nice. I won't get carried away, but it's not too bad.
It's grown on me. I mean, I can't drink anymore, but
What would you give it?
give that one the same as the last one, a 3.5.
3.5. I'm gonna go for an all-time high. I think for a peated and give it a 3.
The summer fruitsiness is sort of there in the late finish.
Yeah, it kind of comes through.
Sort of berries and.
So, do we have any whiskey adventures that either of us have done to discuss? I'm not sure we do this month.
No, well, we went to that whiskey bar in Bristol.
Yeah, we could talk about that.
It's quite interesting.
Normally we put a story in the middle, but we'll put a story in the end.
Yeah, we kind of charged through this one because we've
got 2 more boxes recently,
to go, and we've got 2 more boxes to go.
Yeah,
we're not doing them all in one. You're not going to get to like a podcast in a few weeks from now where we'll just be out of our face. But
it'd be good though.
So yeah, use up all of our chats and stories and.
We've got so many. Yeah. Recently, my co-presenter here, he came down Bristol for work-related matters, and we took an evening. We went into Bristol itself because I live outside of Bristol, and we went into Bristol itself. And there was I had been recently to a whiskey tasting that the guy who runs the Dram Team put on. My busy mate Chris.
Yeah.
And at a pub, and the pub was quite nice. It was, it's got a lot of guest ale, so we were like, we'll go there, we'll have some beers. But on the way, there was a whiskey bar that I had heard recommended to me on that tasting that I hadn't gone to the previous time. So we went there, and it was very, very trendy, like, mood lighting. They've got a tree in the bar where they age things. They were aging old fashions in there. Like they've got an oak tree that they've scooped out the insides of, and it's like glass, and you can see it aging in there. And then they've got a bunch of cabinets down the side, and it's like fruity, smoky, balanced, and a couple of others. And the way it works is like from left to right is in intensity. So if you imagine like
cabinet.
Yes. So if you imagine like a fruity one, you'd have like maybe like a Glen Grant on the left, and then like a full on like Abelauer Brunner on the right, like a really sherried one on the right. Yeah. And the way it works is if anything to the left or right of one you like, you'll probably like that as well because they're quite closely linked. And then the price is listed, so there's a spot on each bottle, 1 to a 3 spots or a gold spot, and that gives you the price. And then what they do is you pick them, say to the waitress, I'll have this one kind of thing, and they bring them over your table, the full bottle, pour it for you. Obviously, they give you some water, pour it for you, and then leave you the bottle, so you could leg it if you wanted.
But probably not be a good plan.
No. And basically, we were the only ones in there. Initially, there was another group, but they left fairly early on. And it
don't smell that bad, honest.
No, it's just the mean mugging, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the loudness.
We were like, we want the undivided attention of bar staff.
I think it was the fact that we sat in the middle of their group that did it, to be honest.
Yeah, probably. And started drinking their whiskey.
Anyone sat here? Yes. And sit down anyway. Yeah, it was very nice. In fact, to the point that we ended up not even going to the pub. We just stayed at the whiskey bar and then went to get some food. It was very good. It was very enjoyable. Good whiskies. very knowledgeable staff. Like they clearly not just people that have been employed just because they're looking for a job. They knew the whiskies. I think she knew more about whiskey than we did. Got a very kind of
so.
Sarah vibe from her.
Well, she said that she had the choice to work in wine or whiskey. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, fair point. She was English Sarah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was very nice. So what was it? Was it Black Rock?
Can't remember.
I think it was Black Rock. I think that was its name. Let's have a look. Obviously, you can't travel there at the moment, but once this is all over,
hopefully it's still open.
Yeah. Well, it's saying it's open on, but I doubt it's open. Yes. So it's Black Rock, in Bristol, and it's very good. If you're around Bristol and you like whiskey, it'd be silly to be listening to this if you didn't, unless you like punishment, I suppose. Give it a try. It's very nice.
Yep.
Okay, so I think that's our.
Also, hashtag not spawn.
Yeah, obviously.
They have whiskey events as well.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, give it a shout. See what you reckon. Let us know in the comments if you do go.
Yeah. Or on Twitter, which definitely exists.
Well, if you weren't so lazy, we might have a Twitter.
I'm pretty sure it exists. It's just not verified in any way.
Well, you should get it started then.
Yeah. I only say that because whenever I go on Twitter on my phone, it's like, who do you want to be? And I'm
well, there you go. Get on it then. Get on it.
Yeah.
No excuses now.
Stuff.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got work to do, sometimes.
Not anymore, you don't.
It's not my fault I don't have a laptop.
No, it's not. It's not your fault, but now you've got free time, so you can do your real job, whiskey.
Sure.
Cool. Okay. That's the story for this month. As we said, it's a bit of a quicker one this time because we've got a lot to catch up on, and we're trying to keep them a bit quicker so we're not putting you all to sleep.
Trying to be more brief.
Yeah, we know that you youngsters like your content quick and now, so we're trying.
10 minutes, 10 seconds, just long enough to get mid rolls.
Difficult to get through 6 whiskies in 10 minutes, but we'll try. We'll get there. Bear with us.
Yeah. We could go to a weekly model.
As this pandemic develops, we'll get there.
Or anyway, we'll die.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you for listening.
We're not sure what the schedule's going to be. The world's on fire, so
we'll do our best to keep them regular.
Yeah.
Probably a few quick ones again, and then if boxes are still coming through, we'll continue, and if they're not,
we'll be a break.
Yes, but we'll be back.
Yes.
Right.
Cheerio.
See you later.
Bye.